everybody, my name is Ellen and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Call It What You Want off of Taylor's Reputation album on the guitar. So here's a quick overview of everything I'll be covering in this tutorial today, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so you only need to know 5 different chords to play through this entire song, and we're going to start with our C add 9, which looks like this and sounds like this. By the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my free beginner series right here on YouTube, so make sure to check that out right here. The next chord is our G major, and you're just going to take your first and second finger and move them up 1 string each. After that, we have our D suspended 4, so you're going to take off your middle finger and just move your first finger. After that, we have our E minor 7. And then the last chord shape is our D over F sharp. Notice your ring and your pinky finger are always going to stay down on these bottom 2 strings for all of these chord shapes. So that should help a little bit with transitioning if you want to just anchor these down. But yeah, those are the chords you need to know to play through this song. So go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really memorize these chord shapes, as well as practice transitioning back and forth between them, because it'll make learning the rest of the song so much easier. And these chord shapes are actually ones that Taylor uses so much in a lot of her older music. So it's a really great idea to memorize them as well as practice transitioning between them so you can unlock so many of her songs. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the strumming that I would suggest for this song. Alright, so as I always say, if you are brand new to playing guitar, or you're somebody who struggles with playing guitar while singing at the same time, the first thing I was just doing is to bring up the song and go ahead and go through the entire thing with just a single down strum on each chord change as you sing through the song. And you want to take this time to really get used to what word or what syllable you're on whenever those chords are changing. So here's a quick example of what that would look like. My castle crumbled overnight. I brought a knife to a gunfight. They took the crown, but it's alright. Alright, so that's just a really quick example, but you would essentially want to do that for the entire song and just really make sure you know where those chords are going to be changing. And it's actually something you do right now if you check out my Patreon page. I do have this entire guide available to download and print out, so I'll make sure to leave that link in the description box if you're interested. But once you've done this and you know where those chords are going to be expected, then we can go ahead and add to this to create more of a full strumming pattern that you can use to play through this song. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are going to be using a 16th note strumming pattern today, so it's going to sound like this. We have 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and a 3E and 4 and a down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. Alright, if you're familiar with any of my other tutorials, this might look familiar because it is one of the strumming patterns that Taylor uses quite often in her songs. So if you are looking for some extra help on what a 16th note strumming pattern is or how Taylor uses them and things like that, I do cover that in my Taylor Swift beginner series right here on this channel, so I'll link that in the corner if you're interested. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this strumming pattern and play it through 1 time per chord throughout the song, except for the parts where we're going to actually split the measure, but I'll cover that in a second when we get there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first verse. We're starting here on our C add 9 chord. You're going to play through this entire strumming pattern 1 time through on our C add 9. So we have down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, to your next chord G, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, to D suspended, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. And then now for the next 2 chords, we have E minor 7 to our D over F sharp. And these are the only 2 chords throughout the song where we're going to split the measure. So I'm going to go ahead and add a vertical line here in the middle of this strumming pattern. And what that's going to represent is where we want to change chords. So basically what you want to do is put your E minor 7 chord on and do the left half of this pattern. So we have down, 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 up. Then you want to switch chords here at the vertical line to your D over F sharp and finish out the right half of the pattern. Down, up, down, 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 up. Alright, so again, E minor 7 to D over F sharp is the only place we're going to be doing a split measure. Without stopping, it sounds like this. We have E minor, D over F sharp. And basically, if you put all of that together, this song follows the same chord order throughout the entire thing. So it's really great for beginners who are working on transitions, or if you're somebody who likes to memorize the songs. So let's go ahead and play through an entire round without stopping. We have C add 9, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, G, to D suspended, to E minor 7, split to D over F sharp. All right, nice. Now before we move on, we do need to kind of speed it up just a little bit because we are going below tempo. And another thing I wanted to add in there, if you would like to do it, is to add some accents. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn some of these arrows green, and these represent where I want you to give just a little bit extra emphasis to your strums, okay? So whenever you're accenting, you wanna strum all the strings, and you wanna kind of have just a little bit more like oomph behind the strum. All right, all of the other strums that you're not accenting, you can kind of concentrate more on like just the top or the middle strings, and you can do less of like a wrist motion when you're strumming. So let me show you what the accent sounds like on my G chord. We have 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and all right, you can kind of hear how 2 and 4 are a little bit more loud and just a little more punchy. Accents are totally optional, but if you can add them in throughout your strumming throughout the song, it does kind of help just kind of give a little bit more of a beat to the song, and it just makes it sound a lot better for whoever's listening. So with the accent in, we're gonna speed it up just a little, so more at full tempo, it'll sound like this. We have 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a. So that's about the tempo of the original song. It might be just a little bit faster, but basically if you can keep the strumming pattern going, you can use it throughout the song. So let's go ahead and go over an example of the chorus. Again, remember the chords are not changing, just the melody of the singing is. My baby's feeling like a daydream, walking with his head down. I'm the one he's talking to. So call it what you want, yeah, call it what you want to. And then the only other part of this song that's a little different is the bridge. Now on the bridge, what I would recommend doing is just paring all of this strumming down to a single down strum per chord, okay? I want to wear his initial on a chain round my neck, not because he owns me, because he really knows me, which is more than they can say. All right, so throughout the entire bridge, just a single down strum is my recommendation there, but otherwise you would keep this strumming pattern going throughout the entire song. All right guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really internalize this strumming rhythm. Like I said at the beginning, this is one of the ones that Taylor uses a lot and you can apply to a lot of her songs. So the sooner you can play it from muscle memory, the sooner you can apply it to a bunch of her songs. If you need help with speeding it up or getting it under your muscle memory, I do have a Practice With Me strumming series on my Forever Faithful channel. So I actually do have this exact strumming pattern over there, so I will link that video in the corner for those of you who need it. But once you have this strumming under your belt, then we can go ahead and put everything together to play through the song. 1, 2, ready, go. Want to have fun jamming out to the rest of this song with me? Then make sure to check out my Patreon page where you can unlock access to this as well as all my other Swiftie sing-along guitar tutorials. I've covered so many of her songs from all the different albums and eras, so if you're a Swiftie who loves to play her songs on the guitar, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I will link it in the description box down below. If you enjoyed learning this song with me, then you should definitely check out this video. Not only does it have a super similar vibe and feel, but it's just as fun and easy to play. So I'll see you over there. Bye!